Okay, what you're saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great day so far, a great week so far, all of that good stuff. But yeah, we've got another live stream. I'm going to talk you through what's going on in the charts today. But make sure you go check out my Telegram channel. Link to that in the chat and also the description below. Also recommend the broker there as well if you want to check out that affiliate link. But hope you are doing well. But let's get into it. And like always, guys, any pairs, any markets you want me to look at, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll take a look at it together, see what's going on. And yeah, leave the time frame as well, what you're looking at as well. So, or if you're looking at multiple, to be fair. Morning, Spiritual Bandit. How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Yeah, I love to see the troops attending. Okay, so like usual, we'll be starting with Euro USD. Yeah, Euro USD, we saw a bit of a move to the downside yesterday. Again, we did see that dollar strength coming into the market, which we were expecting yesterday. We were looking at the DXY, expecting to see a move up. We did, but however, coming into this morning, or kind of overnight for me actually, Asian session, we dipped to the downside, kind of cancelled out this move to the upside here from yesterday. So DXY again still overall bullish, but mixed signals here. We're still failing to really take out this resistance here. So potentially might see a bit of a dip for the DXY, but overall, if you look at the high time frames daily, we are still pushing to the upside. But the way that we're looking here on that hourly /4 hour as well, also dipping below that trend line, that doesn't look too good for the DXY point of view. So we might be seeing a push to the opposite direction there for the DXY, which means some dollar weakness, which means potentially pairs like Euro USD could be seeing a bit of a move to the upside. Pound USD could be seeing, they kind of already have seen that move to the upside, to be honest. But it means that they potentially could continue. Overall for these USD pairs, I think from now, I'm just going to draw a consolidation box around the price action, because price hasn't really made up its mind of where it wants to go. You can see here we've been moving sideways. It looked like potentially we're going to start trending again to the downside, come into that New York session. However, Asian session has popped us back into that area. So we still are putting in these lower highs, so that is something still to note. As you can still see those lower highs, potentially another one there. So if we keep that up, yes, we can still push the downside. But if price starts to find support again, it becomes very, very messy at that point. And then yeah, if that's what happens with Euro USD, I'll simply just wait for a break and retest out of this area. Price to pick that direction, respect it as resistance, or vice versa, come out, respect it as support, and then take it to the upside. So that's what I'll be looking for Euro USD mainly. It just gets a little bit messy in there, and the probability of trades when you get into like a consolidation doesn't work out too well. Trading the resistance and the support of it is not too bad, but when you try and pick trades in the middle of it, yeah, it doesn't really work out that well from my experience anyway. So we'll wait for Euro USD to try and pick a direction. I still think we can move to the downside, but it's up to the DXY what it wants to do. It's dip below this trend line, so we could still see downside. If this potentially is a higher low, because we still put in those higher lows, and it gets back above this area, then we'll probably see Euro USD break to the downside, and we could be looking for those sells. But a little bit indecisive for these pairs. Similar for Pound USD as well. Again, I said I was looking for sells yesterday on the stream. If I was actually at my computer at the time, I was having lunch. There's a nice entry around here looking for shorts, because in the live stream we were pushing up and then we came straight back down. So there's a nice entry there. I didn't get into it because I wasn't at the computer at the time. Price was already trading around there, so I was like, I'll just leave it alone. But yeah, Pound USD was expecting this move just to continue, but Asian session, we've had other plans, and price is looking quite strong again. So Pound USD, similar to Euro USD, I'm just going to consider this as consolidation, dropping to the 4H time frame. You can see price overall isn't really moving anywhere. It does look like potentially it could be actually breaking to the upside, and if that's the case, I'll wait for price to give me a confirmed break, and I can get some longs, target some of these areas up there for Pound USD. Likewise, if it does break to the downside, probably coming back down to these lows there. So yeah, I think I'm going to hold back from Pound USD and Euro USD. I was looking for sales yesterday, but coming today, I don't think I'll be looking for much unless something happens. I don't think. Well, we might have news today. I'm not sure actually. I think we do. Yeah, I think we do have news coming out today, so maybe that might have a bit of a play on things. I'll check now properly just to make sure that I'm not talking rubbish. Yes, we do have some USD news, high impact coming at 1:30 GMT. Inflation rate, so maybe that might say something. Oh, we do have actually FOMC later today at 7. Yeah, that could cause something there at 7 actually. So yeah, we do have some news events that maybe that could help price pick a direction, which is good for us, because then potentially tomorrow we could be seeing some really nice getting on the pullback, really nice trades for tomorrow. So yeah, we'll probably be waiting for that. I'm not too sure if I'll get in now, knowing that we do have FOMC later today. I probably won't get in and just take that risk. I'll probably just wait for price to give me a confirmed break, either to the upside or to the downside, kind of classifying that as a false break there, slight false break there as well. And then we could get a push. We do have a slight trend line here for pound USD, I have noticed, so potentially that could be saying that we might break to the upside if price stays above this trend line. Means we might start breaking to the upside, and that's cool. Like I said, if that's the case, we'll be looking for those buys and the pullbacks back up to the areas up here. So whatever happens, we'll probably look for our trade either up or down. But yeah, it all depends what the DXY will do, and we will have that FOMC later, so things might get a little bit choppy. Gold's actually starting to look bullish here. We're starting to find some momentum here. Price is looking like it might be breaking to the upside. I've been talking about gold for the past week or so, and I've been saying the price is just so messy. I don't want to pick a direction just because I wouldn't be basing off of solid price action where I can confidently say price is going to go up. Obviously I could be wrong, but probability of that will be quite higher, whereas now it's quite tricky to work out where price is going to go. If we start to break outside of this area of the consolidation, you can see here was a false break. If we start to break to the upside, hold that support, it becomes much clearer of where price could go, break and retest, or vice versa. But yeah, it does look like gold is starting to find some strength. It might be breaking to the upside. Again, I was talking to you guys yesterday on the daily time frame. We've got this area of support and resistance running through here. As you can see, support over there, resistance, support. Price might be giving us a little bit of a head and shoulders here potentially. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We could be moving to the upside. That's just an idea, nothing that I'm planning to trade, but if that does confirm a support, which it does look like it's doing, it could definitely push to the upside, which means DXY should be moving down for that move to happen. But we'll see. I mean, it's, like I said, still not clear, so I won't be jumping to any trades, but maybe after FMC tomorrow we could be seeing a really nice clear picture of where potentially price could go. But yeah, not looking too good. Still looking to see if we can get some strength, on some of these JPY pairs. Not weakness, because we've seen a lot of weakness, to be honest. CAD JPY is still flying. As you can see, CAD JPY is actually taking out those highs down the left. I did say yesterday I'm looking for those sells, but because we were right next to those highs, there's a good chance price was going to spike through these highs. Again, a lot of liquidity there on the left. So I'm still looking bullish here. I'm expecting price to take a breather sooner or later. But yeah, we'll definitely be a bit more conservative getting into these shorts, because it definitely is against the trend. It's against momentum, so I definitely have to wait for price action to be on my side first before I do get into any shorts. But as you can see right now, we are still bullish. Maybe a bit of a channel forming here. Maybe you can look for a third test, something like that. That could be looking a lot better, but right now still bullish, so nothing there. Okay, sure, yeah, we'll take a look at oil. Okay, so Oil here, we've seen when we start in higher time frames actually before I work my way down. Okay, so we're quite bullish here on the daily. The drop to the 4H. Okay, looks like we're putting in some nice wicks to the downside there. So that is definitely something to note down. It probably means that we could be getting ready for a move to the upside. We're coming back to test this area of consolidation here, which will be acting like an area of demand there. Consolidated burst to the upside. Now we're putting some really nice wicks back into this area here. So potentially, yeah, we could be seeing a move to the upside, potentially. Also nice break and retest of this resistance here, now turn support. So yeah, it does look good for some longs here, here for oil. Put it with a 1, 2, 3 weeks. I know this candle, current 4H candle still's got about 2.5 hours before it closes, so it could be bearish. But yeah, if we do put these wicks in and that candle maintains that wick there and it starts to move to the upside, I do think we'll probably see another move back into the highs, at least probably to this wick up here and then potentially back to highs. But yeah, it is looking good for longs there with those wicks. I do like to see those rejections, potentially putting in a double top, double bottom there, 1 wick, 2 wicks down the hourly. Maybe we can get a really strong hourly close. That could be a nice entry to go long there. And again, probably, you know, first TP, second TP. So yeah, we are looking bullish there. We'll put in that rejection. I'll probably say another move to the upside is looking good. Unless we start to pull back down again and start to trickle back to the downside, then in that case we're losing our momentum. I'll probably stay out the market until maybe we spike through these lows. But yeah, if you can keep that momentum up, I'll probably say a move to the upside is looking good. Probably do have a little bit of a trend line going through here, so maybe probably the best entry would be if price was to close above that trend line, because again, that could still send us back to the downside. So if you can get a strong momentum candle closing, you know, above that trend line there, that would be looking good for some longs. And if 4H can keep up that wick there, yeah, I would say buys will be looking good there for oil. And it is a very, very bullish market looking at the daily again. So I wouldn't be looking at sells too much really, you know, in general, unless we start to see price, you know, really start to come down, and I'll say wait for some retracement and some sales will look better. So I would only look for buys. Even if we do start to trickle back down, I'll probably just be waiting for another buy setup there. So looking bullish. Yeah, if you can get above that trend line, let's draw that back in. If you can get back above that trend line, I would say longs will be looking very, very good there. So I hope that analysis did help. Again, anyone else wants me to take a look at any market, you know, feel free, leave it down in the chat. We'll take a look at and see what's happening. But yeah, oil looking good for a move to the upside. Again, was looking at AUD quite a lot yesterday, looking for those long opportunities. Again, looks like prices retrace. Again, another pair that looks like it's consolidating a little bit. Maybe FOMC late today could have a say about that, but overall it's a little bit choppy here. I mean, overall still bullish, don't get me wrong. You're still making those higher highs, higher lows. Looks like we've broken out of this resistance here quite nicely. So we are still bullish, but maybe a little bit choppy now. So break and retest is looking good, or maybe if you break to the downside, tap into this area, could be looking at some longs there, something like that. I wouldn't look for any entries in there, because again, consolidation probability is not really on your side there. But if you can hang on to that resistance, breakout, retest, that would be great for some entries to go long. But like I said, DXY, you know, DXY potentially might go short, which means, you know, AU go up, or if DXY does continue bullish, then AU should come down. So yeah, just waiting for DXY to clarify things for me really. I mean, it's looking like we've got the break and retest, but the momentum hasn't really kicked in yet. So if we start looking like this and we put in that momentum here, then yeah, we'll be looking very, very good for longs in the AUD, pound USD, and those pairs. Yeah, no problem, happy to help. You know, feel free to, you know, leave any chart down or take a look at it. It is no biggie. Pound JPY still bullish, so it does look like most of these JPY pairs are still bullish, still heading to the upside, probably heading to 155. Next psychological level there on the daily chart was still pushing in. So yeah, I think all these JPY pairs are probably going to be heading back to highs. I know CAD JPY is already at highs. CHF JPY is probably at highs as well, or almost at highs anyway. So yeah, we're probably all going to be heading to highs for most of them. Euro JPY maybe not one, just because it's so far away from the highs up here. But yeah, it's looking like pound JPY will probably hit highs maybe next week. US JPY is already flying to the upside anyway, so that's smashed through highs. But yeah, I do think for a lot of these pairs, they're going to start to find some resistance soon, because they're quite imbalanced. You know, the way prices just explode to the upside and not had much retracement. We're definitely due some retracement on the lower time frame. So shorts do look good short term, but after the shorts do play out, probably looking for longs to take these pairs higher, because momentum is definitely with the bulls in this market. So I said I'm looking for shorts. I wouldn't be in it for very long. No more than an intraday trade maybe. Wouldn't hold on to that for more than a day, I don't think. But we'll see if we get any price action, because we might not. Price might just continue and push on, and then not give us an entry, of course. But it is a thing I'm looking for, some JPY strength, just not there yet. Pound NZD, we were looking at shorts for this one yesterday. Well, I was looking at shorts anyway for this one yesterday. We did push the back up to the upside a little bit aggressively for my liking, so I was a little bit skeptical with this pair as well. As you can see, nice push down, came back up again. Overall, we're still holding on to this resistance here, which is price support over here. So I think if we can maintain that, start to see momentum shift back to the bears again, there could be some nice sells, because we still have broken through this trend line here for pound NZD. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 tests broke to the downside, and we're still just hanging on to that as resistance. So if we can maintain that, we've got nice confluence there of the trend line resistance and obviously the horizontal resistance. So if we can hold this area, there's a good probability we could push down. If we start to break to the upside, and then we'll probably just continue bullish and see some new highs probably. So either which way, there could be some nice longs and shorts coming up for pound NZD. Again, the momentum there is not what I'm looking for. I will be looking to get short here, but momentum is just not quite there. I want to see a nice injection before I do enter. I'm not too worried about getting the tightest entry. Really, I just want to be in the right direction most of the time. So yeah, I'm not too bold to get the tightest entry, but if I can just get some nice momentum, I'll look to get long again. Maybe even a break of this support here, because price has really rejected that quite strongly as well. So we could still push on, but we'll see for pound NZD. For me, there's nothing there. It's still a little bit choppy. You could argue this is consolidation really. So again, it's not looking too good for me to get any shorts yet. But it is a pair that is on my watch list and I do have my eye on. Yeah, sure, we'll take a look at gold. So yeah, gold, I was just saying, for this pair, it's quite choppy, so it's difficult to work out a bias for this one. I mean, at this moment in time, looking at the daily time frame, it looks like potentially you'll probably get moved to the upside because of what price is doing here. We've got support resistance running through there, support resistance, support again. Price is really failing to push on. As you can see, all these wicks here to the downside. It really does look like prices went to the push to the upside, but then coming down to the 4H, price gets a little bit less clear, a bit more choppy, hard to work out where price wants to go. So for me, if I do look to get any entries on gold, I'll probably wait for price to break to the upside, put in some higher lows somewhere, retest that consolidation, and then I'll probably look for some longs to take this further to the upside. This is clearly a false break of that resistance. But yeah, I'll be waiting for price to break out for me and then retest to get any longs, just because it's not looking too good here. Potentially there could be some shorts here, some resistance. If price is wanting to have that move, that is not a bad place to look for shorts. I'm not going to be looking for shorts simply because I don't really like to trade when price is in that range. I like to trade where the momentum is clear. We've got clear direction there. So gold for me is a little bit choppy. Like I said, I'll probably wait for the break and the retest to confirm things. But yeah, gold is just so choppy, so I'm not too sure with it. It looks like it's gradually trying to push to the upside, so I would be surprised if it does that today. Potentially, we do have FOMC later, so that might have play a factor of what gold does. But yeah, for me, gold coming to nice resistance, potential sells here, still looking bullish, so obviously no sells yet. But if you can hold this, yeah, you can be looking at sells. But if you do go and break through that, the retest is looking like a great option, and then some longs to the upside. And in that, and if that does happen, we've got some nice confidence because on the daily, we've got that support, that's holding. And then the 4H, we've got a breakout consolidation, so we've got some nice confidence there. Price, showing bullish intent on multiple time frames there. So we'll wait for that, and then yeah, targets will probably be the top of this wick here, maybe kind of this area of supply up there as well. So there's some areas we could target. But yeah, gold consolidating, so wait for the break and retest, or if it does push the downside, break and retest of this. And then yeah, you could be looking at lows all the way down there. So gold just waiting for that, waiting for price to choose that direction first, and then we can look to get in some longs. But right now it's too choppy for me, so we'll be staying away from gold for the time being. But yeah, with the way things are looking, it looks like it's going to break to the upside. So that break and retest opportunity is looking quite good. So hopefully we can get that. But do watch out for FOMC, because that might cause a little bit of volatility there, so it could look a lot different after that. Coming to ends, I hope that analysis helped, by the way. Coming to ends the USD, again another pair that's moving a bit choppy. Again, what I'm seeing is a lot of these USD pairs are kind of in consolidation now, which is a good and bad thing. Because bad thing, it means not the best trade setups. I mean, based on what I like to trade, I don't know about you guys. You guys might like trading ranges, so that means great for you. But for me, not the best thing. But it does mean that potentially we could be choosing a direction soon, because we've got news coming out soon, so we could be seeing a breakout of these consolidation sooner rather than later, and we could be looking at some good trades. Potentially Thursday morning London session could be some really nice trades. Following that momentum from the breakout. So yeah, ends the USD, another pair that is moving sideways. You can see there clearly on the 4H, very, very choppy. Hourly as well, very, very choppy as well. Again, don't want to be looking to get any trades in around here. Sure, you can sell at resistance, sure you can buy at support, but anywhere in the middle of this, anywhere kind of just here, you really want to be leaving price alone. Wait for price to get to resistance or support, and then look for buys or sells there, or look for the break and retest, just to maximize your probability. Because here it's quite random, really. Very, very speculative of which way price could go. So yeah, we'll be waiting for these USD pairs to break either up or down, and just looking to capture that momentum. But right now they are very, very choppy. USD CAD is kind of like another USD pair, again consolidating. So we can see a kind of a nice theme here across all of these USD pairs, all consolidating, all moving sideways. Euro USD, USD CAD, Pound USD, AID USD, NZD USD, Gold, all moving sideways. So they're all getting ready to break out. They probably will break out at the exact same time. So there's no need to go trade all of these USD pairs. Just pick the one that looks best, and we'll look for some entries on that one. But yeah, they're all consolidating, probably all break at the same time. And we're just waiting for price to pick its direction. USD CAD here looks like it's trying to break to the downside. It broke to the downside yesterday, I believe. Snap back in. Couldn't push past this resistance here, fell back down. Looks like it's trying to push through again that support. So again, that's not really the best break in the world either. You can see we broke to the downside, got a wick rejection there, so price wasn't really showing much momentum. And when you want to see a break, you want to see momentum. That's definitely a thing that I would look for. And then yeah, you can see lose momentum, and we might snap back in. So yeah, I wouldn't consider that a breakout. It is a breakout, but not a convincing one. Nothing that will look to capitalize on a retest from. So yeah, USD CAD for me still consolidating, maybe another fake out forming. Overall, nothing really there. USD CHF, again another USD pair consolidating, as you can see. So again, all these pairs just looking very, very choppy. I remember yesterday we were looking at price action around this area, and I said that there will be some potentially good longs here if we can break and hold above this trend line, which we did, and we did see those nice longs. However, we came to the top of that resistance there, well, this resistance here, had a bit of a false break and come straight back down. So that consolidation just continuing. Like I said, they all break out at the same time, so you just need to pick which one. But yeah, USDC Chef is not looking great either. So all these USD pairs I'll leave alone. The only USD pair is really trending. You probably say USD JPY, USD CAD, not really. Well, it is trending down but consolidating now. But yeah, other than that, they're all very, very choppy. So looking elsewhere for my trades, I mean, I normally do trade the USD pairs the most. So yeah, looking elsewhere to get some clear trades in. Like I said, some of those JPY pairs could be looking good if they do start to see some downside. Pound NZD could be looking good as well if it does start to show a bit more rejection and a bit more momentum, and could be looking at some really nice shorts to the downside, all the way back down to these lows. I was talking yesterday about price on the daily, how it's looking really, really good. Price, broke to the downside out of this area, coming back down to retest this support, now time resistance. And that, yeah, price has rejected that. So if you can confirm that as resistance, there's a high probability price will fall to the downside, test these lows, and potentially come here, because it looks like we're just putting in a really nice bear flag there, impulse, correction, expect another impulse to the downside. So could be it looking at a really nice downtrend forming for pound NZD soon. Another reason why I want to get into some shorts, because I can look to swing the trade a lot further potentially. But yeah, just looking for an entry, a good entry here, because momentum is not with me there. It's a bit sideways. So wait for price to show some clarity, and then can get in some really nice sells. But yeah, nothing there for me just yet. US 30, yeah, sure, we'll take a look at US 30. So yeah, US 30 we were looking at yesterday on the stream, and I was talking about some potential buys for this one. Yeah, I was looking at buys for US 30 because on the daily time frame, we understand that long term still very, very bullish, but we're coming into this area here which price is really failing to break through. As you can see here, one rejection there, nice move to the upside. Second rejection, nice move to the upside. Third rejection, nice move to the upside. We didn't take it that resistance, which I was really looking for price to do. But essentially, we're still holding this support. So, looking at one or two things for US 30, either price to put in a higher low around this area here, resistance now turns support, or for price to come back down, retest support, and then probably push on again. Testing that daily support down there. So far it looks like price is trying its best to hold on to this. I think if you can see momentum push on a little bit more, we could get a really nice double bottom here, and I would say this is looking good for some buys here for US 30, because it looks like price is holding on to this level, and we could be seeing a move to the upside and probably a push back into this resistance here. Really nice area of supply there, maybe even further as well. So I would say buys are starting to look good here. I probably want to see another bullish candle really just confirm that momentum, because price has been a little bit choppy here. Nice wick to the downside there, I do have to admit. So if you can see probably another bullish candle there, probably say buys are looking good. You look for stops just below that wick and probably target this area. If we're going to 4H, probably target this resistance here as well, just slightly above as well. So yeah, US 30 looking good for buys. If that momentum can continue, go about 18 minutes before that 4H candle closes, which is a good thing as well. Then yeah, buys. But if this area doesn't hold, then buys from here back at that daily area. So only really looking for buys, not really interested in any sells for US 30. So it's either we hold that level or we hold this level. Just looking to play off those two levels and just look for those buys. But right now US 30 on this level is looking very, very good, I do have to admit. So there could be some nice buys coming up, back up into 34,900 and maybe 35,100 after that. But yeah, I hope that analysis has helped. But it's looking good for buys, do have to admit. And the CAD still trading at this key level of support, so still finding out if price is going to hold on to this level or not. Really, really key support. As you can see, strong reactions 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start this move to the upside. Now we're back there again for the first time. So I'm expecting to see slight reaction for end of the CAD for two main reasons. One being because it's a very very strong area of support, and two being since we had such a big collapse to the downside with not much retracement. As you can see, a couple of doji candles there, slight bullish candle there. Hasn't been really much retracement. When you want to see a healthy market, you want to see price pullback, continue pullback, continue. That's showing signs of a healthy bullish trend in the market. Whereas here, very very strong impulse. More likely to see some retracement, and then probably see price continue to dump to the downside. So I do expect to see end of the CAD probably eventually break through these lows and probably push maybe 0.85, but I think it will retrace first. Therefore, there could be some nice buys forming off this support here. I mean, so far I'm not convinced just yet. Very very choppy price action pushing up, very strong price action pushing back down again. So I want to see some strong bullish momentum coming back in first before I do anything. Just to confirm, the buyers actually stepping in, because we could easily just break through, like I said, break through that level and continue bearish. So buyers could be looking good, but just not yet. And when I do get some nice confirmations, I'll let you guys know on the Telegram channel. So feel free to go check that out. Got a link to that in the live chat, of course, at the top, and also the description down below. But yeah, we'll be looking to see if we can get anything there for end of the CAD. Of course, we do have to wait for some CAD weakness as well, and CAD right now seems to be the strongest currency in the world. This one's been flying off to the upside. CAD CHF as well, flying off, and every other CAD pair, Euro CAD on the down, Pound CAD on the down, NZD CAD on the down, USD CAD on the down. So CAD has just been very very strong recently. So going long on NZD CAD can be a little bit difficult, because we do need to see CAD start to take a bit of a breather before this pair goes anywhere really. If the CAD stays strong, NZD CAD is likely to break through this support. So we'll be keeping my eye on CAD if I do get anything for this, but right now CAD is still strong. So hopefully we can see a bit of retracement for CAD, and that could help us with NZD CAD longs, but nothing there yet. But yeah, nothing there yet. Hey, no problem, Patrick. I mean, happy to help, bro. Happy to help. I mean, is there any pairs you're looking at? Feel free to leave it in the chat. But happy to help. Euro USD is still stuck in that consolidation. Like I said, guys, do have FOMC later, so do watch out for that. Because you don't want anyone blowing their account up or anything like that. But I do think, cause like I said, most of these USD pairs are consolidating. I do think the news will probably have a say about that and might start to correct these pairs. If not, then it will just take its time and maybe I don't know, break it down late in the week, or maybe even next week as well. We could just see a week of consolidation. But yeah, Euro USD, not the clearest pair in the world, so kind of staying away from it a little bit right now. But hopefully we can see some nice opportunities later on. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, US30, I just did an analysis on US30, but I'll do a little quick recap for you. Yeah, so US30, still looking at those buys from yesterday. Prices tried to break through this support here, it's failing to do so. Again, looks like potentially we could be forming that double bottom here, so potentially could be looking at some nice longs if we can hold on to this. Looking at that 4H time frame, nice spike to the downside there, closed bullish, came back down again. Don't like those wicks though, do have to admit. And now we're putting a little bit of a wick to the downside with a bullish close there. So I'll probably say, if you're looking at getting involved in the 4H candle close, I'll probably say wait for another candle here at least before going long, because momentum isn't really there, still with the bears, and it can still break through this and move into this area, which is our daily area of support. So if I do zoom out, you can see really strong support here in the market. I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back here again and see another reaction, which would be a really nice place to look to go along, of course. So yeah, it just depends which place price will get that long from, either this support or that support down there. I think you said you trade in the 4H time frame, so again, I'll probably say wait for another 4H candle close. to make that judgment. And if it is bearish and we start breaking through, then yeah, we probably will be heading down to this support, and just wait for some confirmations down here again, and simply probably buy it back up into that resistance, or how many pips you're looking to capture or anything. And here, if you do onto that support, back into that resistance there. So not really interested in the shorts, mainly just focus on the longs there. And if you can hold this, great. If not, we'll look to get involved here. And again, that's probably better risk reward anyway. And there's probably greater chance we'll probably see a bounce from this support than that support anyway as well, because this is obviously daily, that's 4H. But yeah, only looking for longs there for US30. So yeah, the main pair that I'm focused on right now is probably pound NZD for some sells. Euro NZD is kind of a similar pair to pound NZD, but Euro NZD is just a little bit choppy for me. I'm not liking how price is moving right now. I like it when price is trending, give me some really clean price action. I do tend to get most of my better trades in those conditions. So I try to take most of my trades when price is trending and really forming some really nice clear structure. I try to make the most out of it, try and get more trades in that time, and when it's in this time and this sort of phase of the market, try to hold back, because less is definitely more. And don't want to try and force things as well. So yeah, Euro NZD not looking too good here. Pound NZD, like I said, similar pair, looking a lot better. Looks like we get a nice break and retest of that. So maybe if that momentum could come through again, could be looking at some nice shorts. But essentially the USD pairs, I'm not really looking at too much right now. One, because we do have the news later, and two, consolidation really. So we'll be looking to see if we can get some entries for tomorrow. So maybe could be looking good for tomorrow. Get a lot of entries depending what FOMC has done. But yeah, it's not looking the best here. It's not looking the best, I do have to admit. Pound CHF, I was looking for shorts yesterday on the stream. Price was trading around this area here, resistance. And I said if you can really reject this area, I'll look for sell, take it further back down to these lows here, potentially even 1.24 as well. However, on the stream we broke through this level, so that invalidated the shorts that I was looking for. And I said I'll wait for the end of the day to reanalyze the pair again and see what happens. And as you can see, if I go on the daily quickly, you can see we had all of this wick rejection here, and we're still maintaining those wicks there. So price is still holding on to that resistance. That's a main reason why I was waiting for the daily, because I wanted to see whether we'll start to push through this resistance or potentially give us another wick. And as you can see, we do have another wick there. So price is still holding on to that resistance. So looking at the higher time frame analysis, I can still look for those shorts, but the only thing is price action is now back above my trend line here, price anyway is back above my trend line here. So looking for shorts, not the best thing to do. One of the reasons why I was looking for shorts as well is because we're having that breakout. I was looking for that retest and looking to go short of that retest to the downside. Whereas here, now we're back above the trend line. So if anything, we could actually find support and actually move in the opposite direction. So if that's the case, I don't want to be looking for shorts for pound CHF. If anything, longs will probably be the better option. Not really looking to get long anyway, to be honest, because of all those wicks on the daily. Don't want to long into that. Doesn't make much sense really. So yeah, I think for me, another pound CHF, I'll probably put it on the back burner right now, unless price is giving me a lower high here, because we've been making higher highs. If this here is our first kind of major lower high, and we break back below the trend line, that will start to raise my eyebrows again, and I'll probably look for shorts down the retracement, either retest or just retest of a resistance somewhere. Now I'll look to get some shorts back down again, but like I said, it does have to break through that trend line there, because if anything, we could find support and start to push on again, and I just don't want to be in the trade if that's the case. Also, pound CHF is quite another choppy pair as well. Not the clearest pair is the trade, so again, might not be the most probable opportunity for me anyway. Again, when there is no trades out there, it's best to kind of sit in your hands a little bit, and do something else really, just because you could get into a bad habit of just taking trades just because you feel like you've got a fear of missing out, or you feel like you're not doing anything, when sometimes actually not doing anything is actually doing something, because it is quite difficult to look at the charts and not take a trade sometimes. Just because you want to make money, you want to make money, you want to do well, so you want to take the trade, gives you that probability of making money. But yeah, it's definitely difficult to not take a trade sometimes. But when it's not there, it's not there. So you got to do your best to try and force that happen. Yeah, sure, of course, David. Of course, I remember. I remember pound CHF as well. Was it? You had a really nice short on pound CHF. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and gold as well. I remember you were long on gold somewhere. Was it over here? You were long on gold. Caught a really nice move to the upside. Okay, nice. I mean, yeah, well, price is coming into this resistance here on the monthly, to be honest. So we could easily see a bearish month for the DXY, to be honest, coming to that area. I mean, I still know that DXY could eventually collapse to the downside back down to these lows here. Again, I'll probably say my long-term bias for the DXY is bearish. But yeah, we're coming into some monthly resistance, so we could easily see a bearish month right now. I mean, we're only about halfway through, so yeah, we could definitely see a bearish month there. We're still in that resistance, so anything can happen. But yeah, I mean, the way I trade, I look to kind of base it off reaction. But if I was look to pick a direction long term, I'll probably say DXY would be coming down, to be fair. So it is looking good for DXY eventually to push short. So I mean, it's a really nice area. So far, price is struggling a little bit. So maybe if DXY can break below this trend line here, I can really confirm those shorts to the downside. But yeah, it will be looking for more downside there for the DXY. Yeah, I was just looking at the monthly chart. Monthly chart is looking good because it's at that resistance there, of course. So if we can hold on to that, we could be seeing a really nice dip to the downside. I mean, that is quite a bullish candle there, so there's a chance obviously we could break through that area. And if that is the case, then we could be seeing a lot more USD strength. But if we do hang on to that resistance there, then yeah, we could be seeing quite a bearish month potentially. I mean, so far it's still a little bit bullish there coming into the low time frames. But if we can start to push down, we could be selling off quite nicely there for the DXY, but wouldn't say the sells are there just yet. And we have seen some nice sell-offs, through this month, but potentially we could be seeing price really start to come down there and break through that trend line, and we could be looking at 93, 92s, all the way down to 89. Oh, USD CAD. Okay, yeah, USD CAD has been selling off, to be fair. Okay, nice. That makes a lot more sense now. Well, yeah, that's a bearish candle there on the monthly. Probably could continue, to be honest, looking at the weekly time frame. I mean, would you say your targets overall are probably these lows here? Is that what you're looking for? Or are you just looking to capture the month? Are you just looking to capture the sales for the month? Because yeah, if that momentum does continue, there's a good chance we could push back down to 1.2. But yeah, that's looking like a great analysis there, because we're really seeing that wick rejections here the past 3 months. 1, 2, 3 nice wicks to the upside, and now we're starting to see that follow through coming down to the low time frames, even to the daily as well. So well done there, really nice trade. Yeah, that was shocking for me there. And to be fair, CAD strength has really just pushed this one down, to be fair, because DXY hasn't been actually that bearish really. It's actually been bullish if anything, but CAD strength has really just, you know, shot USD CAD to the downside, and same with all the other CAD pairs really. So yeah, well done on that one. Okay, I mean, yeah, we do have some news later today, so I don't know what will happen there with some of these USD pairs. You know, hopefully for you it does push price further down. But yeah, I have no idea what will happen. I mean, we do have some news at 1:30 and then FOMC at 7. So yeah, I'm not sure what price will be looking like at the end of the day. But like I said, you know, analyzing USD CAD earlier on in the stream, I said price right now is kind of just consolidating here on the hourly time frame. So you know, if the price does continue to the downside, we'd like to see a nice break, looking for that retest, and you can see some nice continuations. But yeah, USD CAD for me still overall bearish pair. If it starts to break to the upside like this, then we might see a burst to the upside. There could be some nice longs there, but if it can break to the downside, and looking at good continuations there. But yeah, still a bearish pair. I just want to see what the DXY does, because I think the DXY might give us a move to the downside here actually for FOMC. And again, I'm not basing off fundamentals or anything, just because how price is moving. But again, I'm not gonna trade it, so I best not say that. Hello Jermaine, how are you doing? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing well, having a great day, having a great week. Again, any pairs you're looking at, guys, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll take a look at the pairs, see what's going on. Okay, we're just about to get the next hourly candle closure, and price is still not looking too good here for shorts for pound NZD. Again, this is probably my top of the watch list. Shorts looking there for pound NZD. Again, we did see some nice momentum to the downside yesterday. However, again, that was short-lived quite quickly there. I think we saw a lot of strength in the. No, we didn't. Yeah, we did. We see a lot of strength in the USD. We did see some weakness in the NZD yesterday. So price did push to the upside here quite aggressively. And now it's retesting that trend line there that I drew there for pound NZD. So I want to see some shorts coming into this one. Overall, just looking to play this support, now term resistance, but the momentum is not there, and I like to enter, especially when price is a little bit choppy like this. You know, you could argue that this here is consolidation here. So I'm waiting for, you know, price to really confirm which way it wants to go with momentum, rather than just looking at candlestick patterns, because candlestick patterns are good, but candlestick patterns do have a higher probability of working in a trending market, and you know, decrease, you know, very very significantly on the success rate in a sideways moving market. So we'll not really look too much at what the candlesticks are giving me here. I'll just be looking at what the momentum is giving me, because again, you know, if this trade does work out, potentially could be seeing a move all the way down to these lows here, which is, you know, a lot of pips. You know, that's 200 pips. So I'm not really too fussed about looking for the tightest entry. You know, if this does work out, the pips will, you know, make up for that. So we'll be waiting for a momentum shift, and if there's nothing, you know, we could actually break to the upside, and if that's the case, I'll be staying out. Okay, enter the buy setup on AD CAD. Okay, yeah, we were looking at potential longs for AD CAD yesterday, so we did see a bit of a dip to the downside there. I mean, daily overall, I do have to admit, I do not like this candle here on the left. Nice wick to the upside, but then it pulled back and closed bearish. So not a fan of that candle, but overall price is still kind of in that consolidation. Like I said yesterday on the daily, as long as price can stay above this support here, and you know, hold this support, essentially we could still see price, you know, start to push on for AD CAD and get that reversal we're looking for. If you do start to leak below this support, it might not be looking too good, and we might see price push back down again. but overall we're still above that right now. It's still about 10 hours before that daily candle closes anyway, so can't really make my mind up now. But yeah, AUD CAD longs could be looking good. Nice bullish candle there as well. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. We do have this support here, which is probably what price has just bounded off from, causing us to have that bullish candle. So yeah, I think essentially if we can hold above this support, price will probably give us that move to the upside, probably say at least into that resistance, because there is a chance that price could push to the upside, come back into this resistance, and send price right back down again. So I'll probably say at least into this resistance here is looking good. But then yeah, if we do get that reversal, price could really start to push on to the upside for AUD CAD. But yeah, the only thing is for me, it's just a little bit choppy, so it's not the best setup for me. But essentially, if price does hold this support here, it will be looking good for some longs, I do have to admit. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's fine to mix it up. I mean, to be fair, I don't really day trade, but sometimes I do day trade accidentally. Not because I accidentally enter a position, but because I take a trade and I've got a target X amount of pips away, and then it just hits it in a day. So obviously that's a kind of a typical day trade. But yeah, I mainly swing trades, so I'll probably say minimum I'll be in a trade for probably at least a day. But sometimes it does play out within a day. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with mixing it up. Potentially I might start looking at mixing up as well, start adding not really day trades, but maybe longer term trades, because I probably wouldn't hold a trade. Well, I can do, but I probably wouldn't hold a trade more than like a week. But I might start looking at potentially holding it more than that, and simply playing the long term game a little bit more. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with mixing up. Yeah, that is very true. False breaks could be a strategy within itself, really, to be honest. I mean, I do look at false breaks a lot. It's not something that has to be there for me to get into a trade, but when I do see it, I do add it into confirmations for me getting into a trade. So yeah, false breaks are very, very effective as well. Very, very effective when done correctly. And also, what I've noticed is with false breaks, because false breaks, they happen pretty much all the time. I can go through all the different time frames. I can show you so many different false breakouts, but the ones that are really, really obvious, the ones that really, really take out a clear level of resistance where you can see a lot of people will be selling at, or support a lot of people will be buying at, those false breaks normally work out a lot better and have a really high probability of playing out. So I tend to kind of focus on more of those false breaks, because you could literally argue anything is really a false break of resistance or support. But something like this, we've got clear level of resistance across here, and price just spikes through there, and you see the conviction coming back down. That's a really nice signal that price is going to turn around. So yeah, false breaks are definitely a thing that I do recommend looking to get into people's trading a lot more. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. I mean, it's all about grabbing liquidity and taking off in another direction. That's literally what all the market does. Grab liquidity, move in the opposite direction. Grab liquidity, move in the opposite direction. I mean, it's very, very simplified, but which trading is, it can be simplified, but it's also difficult as well. I do have to admit. But yeah, you said you were short on the 15-minute there for pound USD. So how's that? How's that playing out? Because price is at this area of resistance here on the 15-minute. So probably assume price. I mean, you've got an in and around here potentially. Not too sure where. But yeah, if price can hold into that for the 15-minute, could be some nice sales there to the downside. Again, like I said, I'm not too sure of what pound USD wants to do. If it does hold into that, then yeah, shorts will look good. But as for direction, it's just a little bit choppy for me, so I'm staying away for pound USD. Of course, this is from a little bit more of a higher time frame bias, like 4H hourly. You're on the 15 minutes, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, from a 15-minute view, it's at a nice place, and we could see some nice downside. But yeah, potentially could be looking at price, retesting that trend line there. But yeah, it's just nothing that I'll look to get into, mainly because I'm not really looking to get into those intraday trades. I'm waiting for potential price to give us a break, either up or down, or maybe even that trend line could be something as well. But overall, I'm staying away from some of these USD pairs just because we do have some FOMC news come out later. I don't want to try and jump the gun too much and just be on the safer side of things, and then consolidating as well. But yeah, if pound USD can hold into that resistance, we could see some nice sells there. I do have to admit, potentially back to that trend line, which is looking very, very, very good. If that does happen, you're looking about 30, 40 pips, so that's not a bad trade, especially if you're looking at intraday trading as well. 30, 40 pips can be actually quite a lot for day trading. I mean, gold's still looking bullish here. Gold looks like it might try and break through that resistance. Again, as I said, potentially sells could be looking good there for gold, but nothing that I'll look to trade. I'll rather wait for the break and the retest and then the continuations. But yeah, gold is looking very, very bullish right now. Like I said, with the daily as well, holding on to that support. Price holding on to this support. I'd choose that actually. Potentially you could just be rebounding off that support to continue back up. So that could definitely be happening for gold. Yeah, pound USD has been weird. I mean, I think Euro USD not so much, but pound USD has been weird because last week I was looking to get some shorts. It was looking good because we had this really nice sell-off here last week, so I was waiting for some retracement after that and then looking to sell it back down again. But we didn't really get that, and price just continued to push on, and then we had another sell-off again this week. Price has done some weird price action over there, some like triangle formation, and now it's trying to push to the upside there as well. So yeah, pound has been a little bit dodgy, hasn't been clear for me. I haven't put on a trade yet for this one. I will be looking for I want to say sells, but it has to come all the way down here first for me to even start considering potentially looking for sells. If anything, it's closer to buys, waiting for that break and retest. But to be fair, it's all what the DXY wants to do, because the DXY is still looking quite bearish there. It's broken through this hourly trend line here as well. As I said, price could actually kick on to the downside, which it looks like it's putting in that momentum now. So if DXY wants to come down, that means pound USD could go up potentially. But then again, I don't know how far the DXY wants to go down. It's coming to this 4H trend line now, so we'll see what type of reaction we get there. I think if it breaks through that 4H trend line, then we could be looking at a big dump. But overall, it looks like we've had, let's just clear that for a second. So I'm pretty much just treating that. I mean, it's not arguably consolidation, because we do put in these higher lows. We could probably just simplify this area to probably this area here, which probably makes a little bit more sense. He's got the resistance there, support there. This here could just be a false break there. Grabbing liquidity above, especially these highs as well. And then we could be seeing the DXY push back into these lows and maybe even further. And like I said, we still do have this trend line here, so we'll see what happens reacting with that trend line. If we do break through that trend line, then the probability of price continuing its journey back down to these lows becomes much greater. And then we could be looking at a break to the downside, which could send pound USD and Euro USD on those pairs to the upside. So yeah, DXY for me, it looks like potentially a false break of that resistance there, unless this candle does pull up. It's got about 47 minutes before the candle closes, so I'm not too sure if it will do, but if it does do and it pulls back up and closes outside of here, puts a nice wick to the downside, then that could be price just confirming support, and then we could be looking at longs for the DXY. But right now it's looking too bearish, so we'll see what happens with that interaction of that trend line. And if it does break through, we'll probably see price just drop back down to the 94 area, and then yeah, that might see pound USD push on, Euro USD push on as well, AUD USD probably push on. How's that pair looking? Not too good there. Again, I still drew a box around this one. You know, overall is trying to make its decision up. Ends the USD, you know, still consolidating there. How's USD CAD looking? USD CAD still at the edge of those lows there, so it could actually break to the downside. For USD CAD, we'll see how that gets on. USD CHF, again, still stuck in this area of consolidation. Bit of a false breakout yesterday. I was actually going to be looking for longs for USD CHF to take this right back up to highs. But I did say I want price to hold above this area, put some wicks in, and then I can get some long and hourly time frame or something like that. But when I woke up, price was already trading around here, so I wasn't too sure anyway. And then, you know, coming to London, early London, we broke to the downside. So there's nothing there for USD CHF. If anything, like I said, that's probably a false break, and price is going to see another swing back down into these lows here. Whether we break out, we don't know. But yeah, DXY is not looking too good, and it's starting to show that in USD CHF as well. And gold must be loving this. That's probably why gold's pushing up, because we're seeing some weakness in the dollar. If that does continue, we'll probably clear that resistance there and then move back into highs probably. NZD is still just about hanging on to that support. We could see a really nice move, but again, not too sure of this one. For me, CAD needs to see a lot more weakness for me to be interested in buying NZD CAD. CAD has been so strong. You know, like I said, I don't want to be going against CAD right now. CAD CHF is seeing some downside, but CAD JPY is not, still looking bullish. So, you know, I don't want to be going against CAD, so I will be waiting for CAD to show me some weakness. You know, preferably a breakout of this trend line at least, to show some weakness, and then NZD CAD will be looking a lot better for those buys. I know NZD CAD is really at that really nice area of support, but you know, if CAD keeps up that strength, you know, it can very easily break through this support and continue down. And if that's the case, obviously I don't want to be in the trade if that does happen. So we'll be waiting for that CAD JPY to show some weakness, and then I'll consider looking for trades. As of right now, there's nothing there for me. See, CHF is really starting to rip to the upside now this morning. So again, overall, we were expecting CHF come back to these highs. It looks like it's probably going to hit it today. Again, there's a good chance we'll probably spike through this wick here as well, grab some liquidity. But yeah, price is looking very bullish here, pretty much across all JPY pairs. So those shorts are still not ready yet. Maybe tomorrow there could be something, we'll see. Again, no need to rush anything. I think pound AUD is looking a little bit bullish there, which is not the best thing for pound NZD, because it means that pound NZD might follow to the upside. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean too much because I'm not in the trade, but it does mean that potentially I could actually be shifting my bias if the price does push back above this area. I could be looking at some longs and back into highs potentially. But we'll see. I need to see at least momentum pushing to the upside first. See if we can get some strong bullish candles. There's something like we saw here. Really strong shift momentum to the bulls. So if I can see that coming through here, that could be nice. Wait for a bit of retracement on the lower time frames potentially. And then could get some nice longs there to the upside. Or if you do see a really nice bearish candle pulling us down, then yeah, we'll be looking at some nice shorts, and I'll let you guys know on that Telegram. Stick a nice setup in there. Because pound AUD, we're really seeing a really nice breakout to the downside. Recently, really nice break, consolidation break. So I'm waiting for pound AUD to kind of do the same move. It's kind of done it a little bit. A little bit move to the downside, but hasn't really taken off anywhere. So I'm expecting that move to happen sooner or later. But with the way price is moving, it might move up first one more time before it does that. Maybe double top this area, then come down. We'll have to see. Again, pound CHF still rejecting that trend line there, so again that's another reason why I wasn't looking to get any shorts on that trend line. Price is still holding on to it. We can still push on here. So again, not really too interested in these shorts anymore. I know daily time frame is still putting in these wicks here, so it does still look like we can get moved to the downside. But again, we do have to have all those time frames, correlating to each other, all agreeing with each other to increase the probability of our trades. And right now, 4H is giving me, very, very bullish signals here. Daily's giving me a little bit of both, but mainly bearish because of those wicks. And hourly, of course, give me some bullish signals there. Looks like it's holding on to that trendline support. So again, with those time frames not really agreeing with each other, I'll probably just stay out of the market completely here. Like I said, probably wait for price to dip below this trend line again and then look for sells. But right now, I'm not interested. If anything, can you look for buys here actually? Got the false break, the retest, we could actually take off to the upside. Again, I'm not too interested in buys. We still do have those daily wicks there, so I know potentially we could be turning bullish. But if I knew that we had these wicks here, would I go bullish? Probably not. It doesn't mean we can't see that break. We could easily see that break to the upside, but I'm here to trade the high probability trades. Really, I'm not here to just put trades on anywhere I can find them, because arguably I can go to any pair right now and probably find a reason to enter a buy or a sell. This bullish candle or that trend line, I can find a reason to put a trade in. But we have to be consistent and take those good probability trades. And yeah, it just doesn't look very, very good getting into some long. So I'll probably just stay away from pound CHF altogether. How's Euro CHF looking? Euro CHF moving sideways really, so not much help there. Sometimes I do look at other pairs that do move similar to kind of correlate and build a picture, like I said with pound NZD and pound AUD. Pound NZD and pound AUD do move quite similar most of the time. Not always, of course, because sometimes NZD and AUD can be a little bit different, but most of the time pound NZD and pound AUD do correlate quite well. So sometimes what I do is, if I'm looking to get a trade into pound AUD, I sometimes look to see if pound NZD is looking similar. Sometimes it could be a bet up setup there, or it could just mean that if pound NZD is looking bullish and pound AUD is looking bearish, if they're not matching up, the trade might not always work out quite well. So trying to look to see if they can match up, see which one's got the best setup and take the better pair. So similar with pound CHF, I'm looking for their shorts, but it's not looking too good. So I look at Euro CHF, see what that pair's doing, and Euro and pound are quite similar pairs. So Euro CHF, pound CHF are quite similar. Euro USD, pound USD quite similar as well. But yeah, it's not looking too good here. So yeah, we'll leave it alone. We'll leave those pairs alone right there. So yeah, nothing too much going on here. Like I said, pound is at the top of the watch list, but even this pair is not looking too good. So for me, across the board, nothing really I've got my eye on too much. Again, a lot of these pairs consolidating, so maybe tomorrow it could be looking a lot better. ADCAD looking alright, to be fair, because we're hanging on to that support. Again, really nice bullish engulfing candle there on the 4H, so maybe we could start to be seeing a push to the upside. But yeah, again, it's just a little bit choppy as well, looking left to right, so that's probably the reason. well, I'm not going to look to get involved there, but it could be a nice trade there. Maybe wait for the next leg if price does take that push up. Wait for a bit of retracement and I get involved in there. I think I'll probably look to take that opportunity there for 80 CAD. But yeah, if 80 CAD can hold on to this, we're looking good at some longs here and see price continue. Could be looking at this area of supply across here. Nice target around the 0.9 to 400 area. But we will see if we get that momentum anyway. If USDCHF could start putting some wicks like it did yesterday, I think some buyers could be looking good again for this pair, but I'm not too sure if that momentum will die out. It's looking quite strong again, especially just following the DXY. We'll see what the DXY does at that trend line. But as you can see here, we've got so many wicks over here. You know, so many wicks there, all across here. Hardly any to the upside, so many to the downside there for USDCHF. So it was quite clear that price was going to have that move to the upside yesterday. So I'm wondering what price will do now. It's coming back into that kind of wick area. Will it start to put those wicks in again? Maybe find this area of support somewhere. And if that's the case, I'll probably looking to get long back into that resistance up here. Maybe hold on to see if we can get a breakout back to the highs. But yeah, it's coming into that wick area, and if it starts to give us very strong candle closures to the downside and barely any wicks like we did here, then that might be a sign that USDCHF is getting ready to break to these lows. And then yeah, the next target for me will probably be 0.92 there, next psychological level. We also do have this trend line here as well. I believe it's more of a daily time frame. Actually no, 4H is looking good as well. We do have this trend line here, which I was looking at yesterday as well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, multiple there, and now we're coming back again. So we're obviously struggling to break through this trend line. So that gives another reason why price could be putting some wicks into here. But if it doesn't and starts breaking through the trend line, breaking through that area of wicks, then we could be seeing that breakout to the downside. But this is a very, very strong trend line. You test this well over 7 times. So, you know, when you're looking to draw your trend lines, you want price at least test it 3 times to really confirm it. And if you've got 7, it means that's a very, very strong area. So it's a place where a lot of people will be looking for buys, a lot of people will be looking for breakouts, a lot of people will be looking for break and retest. So it's definitely it's definitely an area where a lot of people will have their eyes on. So it could be a nice area for manipulation. We'll have to see. You could argue we had some manipulation yesterday with these wicks here closing above that trend line, and we saw that push, but we are leaking to the downside again. Don't have to worry about bearish USD, long dodge, pull dodge last 2 days, been hitting losses. I'm holding the bag as I can see it. Sweet. I mean, I still do think those pairs will be going up, or cryptos anyways will be going up. I mean, Bitcoin, I still do expect price to go up, but since it's already done a bit of a move, I think they'll probably retrace. I mean, I still do expect it to go up, but I think potentially might be seeing some retracement first. I mean, Dodge is not looking as good as Bitcoin. I mean, looking at this all together, yes, the risk reward is looking very, very, very good. I mean, if this does start to fly up, you know, you can look at some of these levels. Of course, you've got the highest all the way up there. So yes, risk reward is looking good, which is definitely a factor, because if you're right once, you know, you will just swamp all your losses pretty much quite easily. But yeah, you are right. We are coming to a very strong area of supply, even on the daily as well. 4H, we're coming into this zone here where we did consolidate really nicely there. As you can see, a really nice burst to the upside, taking that across, and you can see we're spiking into this area now. So if we do hold on to this and we maintain that support, yeah, I do expect to see Dodge start to move to the upside again. Really nice area of supply, and could be an area where price does start to spike up. You know, we do see price consolidate, then move up, come back down to that area of consolidation, and then start to move up, and that pattern could be happening right now. Could be happening right now with Dodge. So could be looking at some good buys, but again, I'm not a fan of that 4H candle close just there. So yeah, it just depends if you could put your stop loss below this zone. I mean, you're probably looking at the safest entry. But yeah, I do have to admit, risk reward is looking good. Probably first target back at these highs. Probably seeing new highs actually. I mean, overall, because it looks like prices come back down to this daily supply here. I mean, demand, sorry. Daily demand there, really nice move up. We're coming back into it there. Nice move up. So we might actually tap into this area first and then move up. But yeah, you are right, we're into a very, very strong area of demand, so it just depends if price can hold on to it. So far it's putting some good wicks in, so if we can maintain that, we could see that push up. I mean, that 4H candle's not looking the best, so if you can see another bullish candle coming back up, engulfing that, that could be a really nice shift of momentum back to the bulls. But yeah, it's a nice area, and I do expect it to go up. I mean, I do expect pretty much all cryptos to be heading to the upside eventually. Again, I don't have a date of when it will do, but I think they probably will. Okay, so you had limit orders around there. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good. I think it's just one of those you have to sit in your hands and just wait for it to play out, to be fair, because you know, with crypto it kind of just does nothing and then it does something very, very quickly, and you don't know when it does that something. So you know, you just have to, as price action traders, you know, there will be people in crypto who just buy it wherever it is just because they think it's going up. And as someone with knowledge of how markets move, you know, all we can do is just look for areas of value, such as so, look for our entries and just see if price respects it. Because at the end of the day, if you are right on this trade and price does go in a direction, it's probably going to be a big burst, something that we saw here, which will happen, you know, a few candles and it'll take you well into profit. So you know, that could happen today, it could happen next week or the week after, I'm not too sure. Price could consolidate here again like it did there for a few days before it does see that move. But yeah, that's definitely one thing you have to note down with crypto, that it does nothing for a long time, then it does hit you with those big moves, either up or down, because you can see here it does hit you with those down moves as well. But the consolidation, those wicks are definitely a common theme here, you know, across all cryptos, not just Dodge. So yeah, it's just one you just have to, you know, place your bet, place your order, and either it hits your stop loss or you know, you're well into profit. But I do admit it's a nice area. We already put some nice wicks in, so it really shows some intent from the bulls. Just hopefully we can hold that and start to see some upside. Okay, 4th of October, yeah, 4th of October will be this doji here as well. So yeah, that's a nice entry as well, and that way you can maximize your risk reward a little bit more, because then you can have your stop loss just right below this area here. So you know, your entry and your stop loss are not too far away, and then you know, risk to reward back to highs, that's looking at what, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1, and then past that you're looking at this area here, really strong area of supply up here where price hasn't hit, and it might go and, you know, tap into that area, might see some downside after. But yeah, that's probably where I would target if I was looking to trade this. Obviously first target would be back at these highs, but that supply there is looking good as well. Yeah, I mean it's not looking too great there, and yeah, I mean it's one of the benefits of living in the UK, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, normally in this area you can see you've got consolidation there, breakout, consolidation there, breakout, sort of getting a bit of consolidation here. So it's an area where price does stall at and does typically break out with momentum. So it could be looking good. I mean, we don't know what will happen. I mean, we could be checking up in a couple of days' time, and price could be trading all up here at 27, 0.27. So just have to sit in your hands and wait for this one. But I do think you could be in the right direction, especially if you've got your stop loss below this low. Yes, it could fail, but you know, if price does respect this area, it should be moving to the upside. I mean, looking at Bitcoin as well, Bitcoin's seen some crazy upside recently. So obviously this one's been moving a little bit better than Dodge. Well, a lot better than Dodge, because it's at, what, 55k. But yeah, price right now has had a big move. I think we're going to see some retracement soon, because this one here is coming into some supply here as well. So as you can see, if you look left, you know, big move to the downside, now testing that area, you know, for the first time since leaving that. So I am expecting to see Bitcoin take some type of breather, but I do think Bitcoin overall is still heading to the upside. It might not even take that breather, actually it might just break through these highs and just storm on. And in fact, if it does do that, it probably will just go and take out these highs here on the left and continue to push on, because price is looking like it's overall, you know, gonna still hit those highs. You know, if I go to the higher time frames like the monthly, you know, I mean overall it's still looking very, very bullish. I mean everyone was going crazy when that bearish candle happened there on the monthly, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, you know, it really doesn't make too much of a dent. You know, if I just adjust that, you can see price big move down, doesn't really matter. Look where price is now. So I think that bearish candle there's only one as well. So yeah, I don't think Bitcoin is going anywhere for soon. I think it's still on its way up. It might take another move to the downside, yes, maybe even test that support, but in the long run, yeah, I think Bitcoin is still going up to 60k, maybe even 100k next as well. I'm normally one in, one done. I have scaled before. Sometimes, but I used to do it when I wasn't too sure about a trade. I would just take a small position, but then that started to become a bad habit, because you know, I could take so many just little trades and just not think too much about it, because it's just such a little position. But yeah, scaling in when used correctly can be a good technique, because it means that, you know, you don't have to place all your bet down once. It means that, you know, you can place it down. Okay, it's going in the direction, you can start to add more, or if it's just going against you, you know, you don't lose the whole amount of money that you're going to bet. So yeah, scaling in is good. I don't scale in at the moment. It's something that I probably will look into though. I think I do need to backtest it properly though before I actually add it into live trading, just because I need to know when exactly I need to scale in that next position and the next position. Because sometimes, you know, you could enter the trade, you get a nice candle going in direction, you add another position, but you know, price just retraces against you. So you need to know exactly when I should be scaling in, but it's something that I probably will be back testing soon. And I think, yeah, probably I will be giving it a go, because in the long run it can really help, because the way I trade, and I think most people trade it as well, to be fair, normally when you get into a trade, normally most of the time price goes in direction fairly quickly. Not as in time, but as in candles, like, you know, 3, 4, 5 candles. Price should be pushing in direction if you're right, and it should take you out fairly quickly as well if you're wrong. If it consolidates for a long time, a bit of both can happen, really, to be fair. But if it goes straight in the direction, normally that your trade is right, you know. So if I use a small position first, then price goes straight against me, you know, it means I don't risk my whole full position on. So it's something I'll look into, but at the moment, no, I just use one and done. Okay, still short on GU. 15 minutes as well. Okay, so again, we're still seeing some downside there. Looks like price is still at this resistance here. If I just get rid of this consolidation here. Price is still at this resistance here, so we have poked through it a couple times there, once and twice. Again, it means that you probably got a good stop loss as well, or you scale into that one. But yeah, if pound USD can hold into this, we're looking at some good downside. Again, I don't know where your TP is for this. I don't know, maybe these levels here or support down here maybe. But yeah, GU still at that resistance. I think if GU wants to turn bearish, it really should hold on to this, and it could be seeing some really nice shorts. Because this potentially could be a lower high, so if it does start to break through this, you know, I'm not too sure about GU, but yeah, if it holds onto this, sales could be looking good. I mean, he's putting a nice wick there. We've got about 20 minutes left before candle closes, so hopefully that can close bearish. But yeah, GU is still looking good, still onto that resistance just about. We'll see what happens when that hourly candle closes. That'll probably paint a little bit more of a picture than the 15. But yeah, still looking okay. What's the DXY doing? DXY is coming to that 4H trend line, so yeah, we could see a bounce from this area and a move up. If we hold onto it, of course. If we do break through, then we'll probably see that move down. But yeah, DXY is pulling back a little bit, primarily probably because we've just tested that trend line just now. So we'll see how price reacts to that. Pound USD, of course, pulling back down. Euro USD still looking a little bit bullish actually. And clearly that's not a lower high there. Price is pushing up here, so we'll see what happens there. Again, I'm not looking at getting any positions just yet. And the USD seeing some downside there. What's pound USD doing? Pound USD looking bullish there, so again, not looking, getting involved looking like that. I mean, AUD pairs looking quite strong. Overall, still in that consolidation, so not a fan of that. What's gold looking like? Gold's looking like it's poking its head above that resistance. Gold is looking like it might take off. I'm not gonna lie. I think it could have a good probability of taking off if it does. These wicks is where I'm expecting. If not, if gold doesn't take off and it just rebounds this resistance, then I'll probably, not sure if I'll look for sales depending on what the price action give me. If it gives me a nice, you know, wick to the upside, nice false break, then I'll probably consider. But if not, there could be some nice sells back down again. If gold can obviously hold that resistance. If not, like I said, the break and retest is what I'll be looking for to take this further to the outside. Silver is also doing kind of the same thing as well. Silver and gold do correlate quite well. Again, consolidation here for silver, and it looks like this one's already poking its head to the upside here. Again, kind of treating that as the false break, kind of ignoring that when drawing this box. And yeah, it's poking its head back up again. So if silver can come down, hold on to this as support, like it tried to do over here, if it can do that again successfully, I think buyers will probably be looking good. And if silver's pushing up, that means gold is likely to follow as well and push to the upside as well. And we'll see this resistance here is looking good. Got 1, 2, 3 wicks into that area, so it's a nice place to target. 23.1. Again, another pair that arguably is consolidating as well. Again, a lot of pairs consolidating, not a fan of that. We've seen some nice trending markets recently, and now it's stalling a little bit, which is, like I said, good and bad thing. It means that price is getting ready to break out again, because that's what consolidation means. Price is accumulating orders, getting ready to, to pick a direction and move in it as well. So it's a good thing, but it just means that we have to sit on our hands a little bit, especially with news coming out later. Could see some really nice wicks, taking people out. I mean, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I mean, not nice wicks taking people out. That's a bad thing. But obviously, after that, there could be some nice setups after prices pick this direction or broken out or something. There could still be some nice sales here for NZD/USD as well, I think, because price overall looks like potentially is coming back down to these lows. That's why I did expect price to come down into. So I kind of still do have that as a target in my head for NZD/USD, these lows. So if you can take out this low here, put another low high, could be looking at some really nice sales there for NZD/USD. Do we have a little bit of a trend line here maybe? Okay, yeah, we do actually. So kind of just using the bodies there. So bodies there, wicks into that area, wicks into that area, coming back into that area there again. So that is interesting actually, because if we can hold on to that, we could be looking at price getting ready to break to the downside at the consolidation, and like I said, targets back down to those daily lows. 0.68, nice psychological level as well. Probably look to target these lows beforehand first. Maybe bank some partials, but it is looking good for potentially some sells, especially if you can hold onto that trend line, or vice versa if you get the breakout as well. Hey Chia, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So then GA and GN, nice. I mean, GA, we've seen some bit of a pullback for that one recently. Again, a bit of a pop, but again, I don't know where you've entered there for GA. So price might still retrace, but it's like I said, looking at it from a daily point of view, I can still see pound NZD and pound AUD falling. Still expect to see pound AUD move back into this wick here, which is kind of around the 1.84 area, next psychological mark. So I can still see pound AUD falling down. Don't know if it will retrace up before it does that, but still see more downside, and pound NZD as well. In fact, pound NZD, I'm actually looking for sales right now. I haven't got any confirmations just yet, because we had a really nice breakout this trend line, and price is obviously now retesting this support here now as resistance. So if we can hold on to that, we'll be looking at some nice sales for pound NZD. But momentum is not really there, so I'm waiting for that momentum to come back in again, just because price action here is just a little bit choppy. It's on the choppy side of things, and I want to wait for momentum to get back into the market here. So that I'm going to use that to trigger me in rather than candlestick patterns, just because they're not quite as effective when the market's kind of in this choppy nature. So yeah, pound NZD shorts are still looking good. I mean, my analysis from yesterday still stands. On the higher time frames on the daily, looking at ending that bearish flag there. Really nice test of this support and time resistance. So looking at price, taking that dump to the downside, we've broken this trend line here. Now we're just holding that as resistance. So if we can maintain that, I'll be looking to get involved in pound NZD as well, and hopefully we can see a really nice move to the downside. Probably targets looking at this support here, 1.95, nice psychological level as well. And obviously pound NZD, pound AUD got a lot of pips about them, so definitely a lot of pips to catch if we do get some nice moves. So yeah, I still agree with you there, Chia. I mean, I'm looking to get in pound NZD, so hopefully I could join you in that trade. Again, guys, if I do get anything, I'll let you know on the Telegram, but so far I haven't got any trades yet. Hopefully you can get something late today. If not, maybe FOMC can set free some of these USD pairs that are moving sideways, and there could be some good trades coming up for those pairs. But yeah, pound NZD I'm looking at getting in. It's just a little bit too bullish for me, so we'll wait for something something there. If not, we might break to the upside. USD CAD, yeah, I was looking at USD CAD yesterday. I was looking at potentially getting some longs for USD CAD, but I didn't get any good confirmations. Yeah, so I was looking at getting some longs in for USD CAD from around here, but price wasn't looking too bullish. Put a few wicks to the upside, and then it collapsed to the downside. So quite happy I didn't post out some USD CAD longs. But yeah, USD CAD still looking at potential longs here. For me, it's still at a really nice support. If it does break the downside out of this consolidation area, then I'm not interested in any longs anymore, because it might actually just continue and trend to the downside, which it is doing currently. But it is coming into a really nice area of support. Really nice area of support here, which I do think price can hold and see some upside from. As you can see, strong reactions. Again, not looking for a mad reaction like that, but just looking for a little bit of a push to the upside, maybe back into this area here, maybe 1.26, but nothing crazy. But yeah, USD CAD is at a really nice support. Not far off 1.24, nice psychological level as well. So yeah, USD CAD, primarily looking for longs for this one, but the longs aren't there. We do have to admit. Just get rid of this because a little bit confusing. Yeah, so USD CAD, the price action isn't quite there yet. So for USD CAD, I'll probably wait for price to really start to confirm support again, because it looks like it might be trying to break to the downside. Wait for price to come back, respect the support, look for buys there, or break and retest, and look for buys at the top of this area acting as support again. So that's what I'll be looking for USD CAD. Wait for the break and retest, and then looking for the buys there. Or price can break back in for me, confirm support again, something like it did here for those wicks, and I could trade it into that resistance, probably take some partials, wait for breakout, probably enter again, or if it starts to come back down against me, I can just exit my position there for USD CAD. But yeah, either one of the setups I'll probably be looking to take. Again, DXY will have a say of things, so DXY is not looking too good. If DXY does break through this trend line here, it might mean that DXY, which is this 4H trend line, if it does break through this trend line, it might mean more weakness for the dollar, which means USD CAD will probably break down. So if that does happen, I'm not going to be looking at entering those longs for USD CAD. But if it can hold into this trend line, then and start pushing back outside of this resistance, then we could be looking at USD CAD finding strength again, and those long looking good. So I will be keeping an eye for DXY to see how they look, because again, if DXY is not looking too good, me getting into longs and USD CAD doesn't make too much sense there. I want to have both of them correlating quite well, which they are, but just correlating bullish. So yeah, that's my take on USD CAD. I think buys are what I'm looking for, but because we're at really nice support as well on the daily, but with price action right now, we might actually break to the downside. And again, we do have some news later, FOMC at 7, I'm pretty sure. We do have some news at 1:30 GMT. So yeah, that might have the same things with US dollar anyway. And I think we might have actually CAD news as well. No, we don't have CAD news. It's medium, well, low impact actually. So yeah, no CAD news, but we do have FOMC minutes at 7 p.m. tonight GMT, and USD inflation rate at 1:13 GMT today as well. So 2 US dollar news events. I'm not too sure how they will impact the markets. We'll find out. Again, USD CAD could be looking good right now, but then with those news events, we could be all the way down here or trading above there. So I'm probably going to wait for Thursday to pick a trade, because I think with those news events happen, maybe you can see a breakout or something, or some bit more clarity, and then the opportunity will be looking a lot better coming into tomorrow. So I'll probably wait for tomorrow for anything. But yeah, if anything, I'll be looking for some USD CAD buys, but nothing for me just yet. I mean, are you looking at the same buys, or are you looking for sells? I'll probably imagine you'd be looking for buys. But But yeah, we could still break to the downside. Breakout retest. Like I said, I'll look at that for buys. That could easily happen for sells as well. I know it looks like it's potentially breaking out here, but there's not a lot of momentum. You can see here 2 wicks to the downside. That's not looking too good either. So not the most convincing break. You could argue, that could be the area of consolidation really, but I'll probably draw it to that. So yeah, no trades for me there for USD CAD, but I would be looking at some buys if possible. But if it breaks to the downside, we could go a lot further because momentum is definitely with the bears with USD CAD. And like I said, also NZD CAD as well. It's an important thing to see that CAD shows some weakness, because if CAD doesn't show any weakness, USD CAD won't go up, because CAD has been very, very strong pair, probably the strongest pair throughout the past week or two. CAD's been the strongest pair consistently for the past 2 weeks, and you can see CAD, JPY CAD, CHF moving up. Every other CAD pair, Euro CAD down, Pound CAD down, NZD CAD down, USD CAD down. All these CAD pairs down. So CAD has been the strongest pair across all currencies. So if we're looking to get long on USD CAD and expect CAD to come down, we do need to see some weakness. To see some weakness to give us a bit more confidence. Okay, so you're looking for the buy as well. So yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, I'll be looking for the buy as well. But like I said, DXY needs to fix up and show some bullishness, and also CAD needs to show some weakness, which is a bit obvious, obviously, because it's USD CAD. But we do need to see that to get anything. But yeah, it's not looking too great in terms of price action either, USD CAD, so nothing there for me just yet. Maybe after news coming into Thursday, there could be a little something there, but not enough for me now. Wow, so gold is really starting to push on. Like I said, the breakout is looking good. Retest there. Not sure if we'll get the retest, but if we do, looking good. And then yeah, gold, so one of these two levels up here. We'll probably continue. Silver's probably going to push up. Yeah, silver's looking good as well. Breaking out. I said the retest there will be looking good. Not sure if we will see the retest. But yeah, it's looking very, very bullish right now. So that means that we might be seeing some weakness in the DXY then, because as gold and silver go up, DXY does come down. So we might see a break of this trend line, and like I said, probably push it into this area here, 94.50, which means pound and euro could be moving up. I mean, so far not really seeing too much of that. Morning, Orain. How are you doing? Thoughts on USJPY? We'll take a look at that. I haven't really looked at USJPY too much. We'll see what's going on. So yeah, USJPY crazy move to the upside recently. It's really pushed on here. Was potentially looking at sales at that upper trend line here. The third test didn't really get a third test. We got a third break, a third smash. Price just moving so aggressively there. So I do think we can see some sales coming up because we're coming into 114 here, nice psychological level. And if we just go into the weekly, it looks like we're coming into this area of, kind of resistance here. Very strong move to the downside, arguably very strong supply as well. So I do think we can start to see some downside here for USJPY. But again, do watch out because price is definitely very bullish here. We are forming a little bit of a trend line here with these wicks. Well, the bodies actually, I would say. Price is struggling to get a close below this area, so I think USJPY might see another move to the upside if it can stay above. If it doesn't, we could be starting to see a bit of a downtrend forming. So we're going to the hourly time frame. Again, doesn't look so neat and tidy. It's based on the 4 hour course, but yeah, it's still looking bullish. So like I said, if you can get back below that trend line, start holding that as resistance, put another lower high in, I'll say some sales do look good because of where price is now. I know it's up against trend, up against everything, but where price is now, I do expect to see some breathers taking place, and it looks like DXY might be moving down as well. So we do have that confidence coming in, but yeah, I'll probably say wait to see if we can get a 4H candle close below this area. I wouldn't base it off an hourly time frame. So you can wait for the 4H candle close below this trend line and then drop to the hourly and look for any entries there. But yeah, price is still bullish here for USJPY, and like I said, if it does want to stay above that trend line, it could easily just continue to trend to the upside. Not really interested in longs because price has already done quite a big move to the upside. I think the shorts are probably the more interesting, the better option, because longs might look good, but I don't think we'll probably see much juice. It might just move up, maybe puncture some highs, and then see a sharp move to the downside there. So yeah, like I said, if you can break through that trend line down the 4H, and then we could look at some entries to take this further to the downside and sell it down, but I wouldn't be interested in any longs here. So yeah, overall not the cleanest pair, but hopefully you can see some shorts coming back in. Maybe you can put a bit of a trend line forming or something like that. If you can push down below that trend line or below a high, that could be a nice sell there. We'll have to see as things develops. It's a little bit early for sales now, I do have to admit, for USJPY, but maybe coming to later today, we do have some news later, so maybe something tomorrow could be looking good for some shorts, but still looking a little bit bullish there for USJPY. GU holding trend line. Which trend line is that now? I mean, he's holding that trend line there, but I'm not sure if you're looking at that one. Around the 15 minute. Maybe this trend line. Okay, something like that maybe. Okay, yeah, it's a nice bearish reaction, do you have to admit, coming to those highs. It definitely has wicked out there a lot of people probably. So yeah, nice reaction. If it can break through the trend line, then yeah, we'll probably see a nice move back down to these lows here, maybe 1.35900 back into this support. But yeah, it probably just determines what the DXY wants to do. DXY is coming to the trend line, we might see a pop to the outside, which could help GU come down. But yeah, we'll see how that holds on. I mean, the momentum is good, so hopefully that can take it below the trend line and start to trickle down. But essentially, I mean, it's a nice close on hourly. I do think nice bearish candle there, working to those highs, so it's looking good. I would say we could probably see a move to the downside. Get below that trend line in the 15 minute though. Probably a high chance of that happening, of course, but I would say it's looking overly good for pound USD. But yeah, get below the 15 minute, it will be looking good for some sales. But yeah, guys, it is the end of the stream actually. That one's gone a little bit quick actually. Like always, we'll do a quick rundown of some of the pairs that I've looked at, some pairs on my watch list that I'm looking for any trades, quick breakdown, and then we'll look to end the stream there. But yeah, pound USD, definitely a pair that I'm looking at getting involved. Like a lot of these USD pair guys, they are kind of on the higher time frames, 4H, kind of just moving sideways here. So I'm waiting for the news event coming out later today. We've got some Some news at 1:30 and news at 7 as well GMT for US dollar there. Should cause some type of volatility or whatever, some wicks or something for these USD pairs. So they could be looking at some nice trades coming into tomorrow. Primarily looking for some sells, but if you do get buys in the break and retest, we'll be looking for that, or some sells in the break and retest could be a nice trade there as well. But just looking for price to start to pick a direction and getting some nice trades for either longs or sells. If you get into those sells, I do think price will come back down to these lows, or buys probably back to those highs up there. So either which way it happens, looking to capitalize on that opportunity. Euro USD likewise as well, price is a little bit choppy. Look like we're going to break to the downside coming into, let me just tidy it up a little bit. Looks like we're going to break to the downside yesterday with that momentum, but we snap right back in now. So price for Euro USD is a little bit choppy as well. Maybe if we can, get back below this, we can look at some sells, or if this was a fake out, look at some buys to the upside. Either which way, we're looking to take advantage of that consolidation there. USD CAD as well, do have my eye on that one, but this one looks like it might be continuing to be bearish here. Again, if price can really stay below this consolidation there, start to put some wicks to the upside, maybe a double top, can be looking at some sells and then taking this further to the downside. But yeah, USD CAD, if it can push on, some buys will be looking good on the retest, higher low, something like that, and take some longs back into this area. But yeah, USD CAD for me is just not looking good at all just yet, so maybe even probably wait for Thursday for anything. And gold and silver looking bullish, so if you can get some pullbacks on these pairs, buys will be looking good. Hold that as support now, whereas resistance can be support, and if it is that's the case, I'm expecting gold to start trending to the upside. Same thing with silver as well. If you can get a retrace, I'm expecting some continuations to the upside for these pairs. So overall still looking bullish, waiting for that retracement and continuation. And all these USD pairs that I've just mentioned, I'm waiting for price to kind of pick a direction first before I do jump into any trades. Pound NZD also looking at sells again. This is the pair that I'm mainly focused on, but momentum isn't quite there yet. It is starting to put some wicks to the upside there, as you can see, which is a good sign. But I'm waiting for that momentum to really start to come through. You can get a nice bearish candle closure, show momentums with the bears, and then we look to get involved in some sells there for pound NZD. And targets will probably be 1.95, and then potentially 1.94 down here as well. So potentially really nice swing trade could be on the cards. But yeah, as long as pound NZD can hold on to this support now, resistance, showing nice shift in momentum, we'll look for sells. And like always, if I get anything, let you guys know on the Telegram as well. But for me, nothing there yet. We'll keep an eye out today. Maybe we can get a trade coming into the New York session. So we'll see if we can get something there. But yeah, that is the end of the stream, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, found that useful. Again, guys, if you do enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like, all that good stuff. Hit the bell so you don't miss up any uploads or any streams. Check out the Telegram channel. Post free trader setups there. You can go check that out. Link in the description or in the chat. Or check out the recommended broker, IC Markets. My affiliate link is up there. Feel free to use it if you want to. But yeah, that's the end of the stream, guys. Thank you again for watching the stream. Hope you all have a great day, great week. Good luck in your trading, and I hope I see you again tomorrow. I'm live again tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. GMT. Hope to see you guys there. But yeah, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.